Welcome! This is the Panda
Monium
Podcast. Oh, I went too far. Oh, Daniel!
Levi!
Alan!
And Aaron Shepard!
Yeah!
That was
Pandemonium Podcast! We'll just have to change. I don't know. Okay, we'll think of clever ways to open it up. Like, one time I'll go like, frankly, my dear, I don't give a podcast. And you guys can go from
You ruined it now.
Yeah, no, I was saying something like that.
Well, that should have been what you did.
Just take it from movies.
Yeah, like little lines. Well, so we just came back from a fun evening.
Yeah.
Oh.
Frisbees.
At night.
In the rain.
Yeah.
With the light blaring in our eyes.
And developing a game where we couldn't leave until we completed it.
That, to be honest, that was kind of stupid on our part.
But that's what makes the game. Like, forcing you to... I was thinking that by the time that one of... Because I wasn't going to break. And I knew Aaron wasn't going to break. I figured it was going to be Alan.
It was going to be Alan. I wasn't going to break.
Or Daniel. And I figured, okay, at that point, we'll just do it where we just pass it all the way, like, hand it off to each other.
Yeah. Well, it would have worked better if it was like it was windy and the light was in front of us. So every time.
And it got pretty slippery.
Yeah, it was really slippery.
Well, like I couldn't run like I wanted to because if I had, you saw it like the
Dude,
one
you
time.
can't wear those shoes
I just
and do
can't.
it.
You're
I
looking
know,
like you're on ice, man.
No, well, no, these are my dress shoes. I didn't plan on going out and running in
What
them.
about last Saturday?
You were like a...
Last
Were those
Saturday.
Sunday dress shoes too?
These are the same shoes I was wearing on Sunday.
Stop wearing those shoes.
I don't have any other shoes. I'm
It was
bored.
funny because you looked like a newborn fawn. And you were just like, Bambi.
Oh, it was.
I was so worried about that last one where I fell and caught it.
Oh, well, that was such a good catch.
It's awesome.
I'm
Yeah.
glad I didn't drop it after that.
Yeah, 'cause you're the last one. It's like, here, Aaron. And you'd have blamed me no matter what.
Yeah. You were on the ground. You can't throw on the ground.
Oh man, but it was still fun. I'm serious. We really should do that like every night. Not every night would be ideal.
Every night. Okay, Daniel.
I know, right?
Come over.
No, you
tell
guys
your
should
wife.
just-
Actually, I'll let Kylie know. I'll let her
why
know.
don't you guys visit me at work? We could do it at my job.
Where?
In down the
room.
hallway.
Down the hallway.
Oh, because that's smart.
It is smart. I could hang out outside as long as nothing was going on.
Yeah.
People can call me.
That sounds good.
We tried to do the rebound.
I don't understand.
I don't think anyone really tried to do it. It
I
looked
did.
like you tried.
I threw it on the ground and it didn't bounce up.
You're doing it wrong. You guys are like angling it wrong.
I-
You need
I
to like power
well,
it down so it
I'm just
skips off
wondering-
the ground.
It was in English and it was in French. So was it like pretty big in France to Frisbee?
Canada.
Oh,
my God.
okay.
I feel.
Is Frisbee actually big in Canada?
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if it's big in Canada,
Well,
but
it's on
it's
the ice.
distributed
That's
in
why,
Canada and
'cause-
America.
I got it now.
It's funny that it's French and not
Why don't-
Spanish.
What?
It's Canada.
Well, if you come to America, you speak English. If you live in Canada, you speak French.
What America did you grow up on? When you come to America, you speak whatever the hell you want.
Yeah.
People better
And
damn
people
well
have
like
to
it.
learn for you. I know.
You just have your kids translate.
It's the best one.
That's always the worst too.
Or like
Tell them-
oh my gosh.
Tell her she's stupid. No, don't actually tell her that.
No, like that time on our way back from Anime Oasis. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that woman did you guys?
Yeah, so no, it
no,
wasn't
no.
that. So we stop at this town. It's this town in the middle of nowhere, but we just needed gas. We were about to run out. We were hitting terrible snowstorms and everything
Yeah.
like that. So we decided to pull off and get some gas to make sure that we'd be okay. But Alan was driving my car because I had driven like all weekend and everything like that. I just kind of wanted a break. And I was riding in David's car. So we stop at this gas station, we fill up, we go inside to get snacks and everything like that. And as we're leaving, Alan's backing up, and that it was the Intrepid, so it's a really big car.
Yeah.
Alan was used
Oh,
to
I
driving
remember that
I'm
car.
the
used to
red
drive-
one.
It was really long.
Yeah, it was long. It was
really
like
long and
my
everything.
car was 2/3 the size.
Yeah,
normally.
and so he was really used to smaller cars. But anyways, He backs up and he backs into this car that's parked there.
Oh, good going, Alan.
But here's the thing.
For one, the car was not supposed to be there.
Yeah, so
there's
so
not
here's
a
the thing.
parking
Here's the
spot
thing.
there.
They had just parked behind
Yeah,
us.
they just parked
They
there.
had just parked,
Okay, so the thing was, is he was
Lightning
backing
fast
up.
speed.
He couldn't have been going that fast. But there's this dent in the car. But this car is like all banged up. It was a piece of shit car.
Yeah.
You know, it was a clunker if I had ever seen one. And they're coming out their car and they're like, look at what you did! Look at what you did!
Like,
you know?
like the dent has visible rust around.
Yeah, you know, and it's like, and we're like, and Alan's like,
Yes.
I was like, I didn't do that, and so I'm getting out of my car because it's my car, so I would be the one
I just
to
love the conversation though they had before like Daniel finally gave the keys to Alan, where it was like, "You're not gonna hit anything." Right?
I know.
He spent like
Yes.
he spent like 5 minutes like, okay, you gotta drive very carefully.
Yeah.
Sometimes it does this, you know. Don't be allowed.
I was like,
I got this.
well, the thing is I hadn't let anyone else drive that car because I needed that car. You know, I had no money for a new car.
You jinxed it. That's what you did by doing
I
it.
did.
Daniel, I'm not. It's not like I'm gonna back
like
into
I'm gonna-
something.
Yeah. But anyway,
Come on, like that's gonna happen.
The lady comes out, and it's this lady, and she can't speak English. Like, not one word of English. And her little daughter is there, and she can speak English, and so she's kind of translating for us and everything like that. And Alan's talking with her. I don't really know what she said, but I finally get out there, and I am pissed. You know, I didn't want Alan to hit a car. He did, but then that car was where it wasn't supposed to be, and they're like talking at it. I'm like, no, this isn't our fault. Look at where you're parked. You're parked in an illegal parking spot. You know, you're way too close to all these cars in front of you. There's no parking here. You're parked illegally, so technically we're not in trouble. And I would be glad to call the police and have them come over here and do a little investigation. And if they say I have to give you my insurance information, I will. But I think the fact that you were parked here illegally is going to be grounds enough to say, you know, maybe it's just a both fault. Well, they didn't want to have the police called, you know. They just, everything like that. And in the end, and so we end up going inside because it's freezing outside.
Yeah.
In the end, I wasn't gonna give,
Yeah,
I wasn't
just-
gonna give an inch or anything like that. But David, being the
Oh yeah, that's right. He
it's
pulled
not-
out money, didn't he?
Yeah, he pulled out money and just gave him money. It's like, this should be enough to cover any damages and everything like that. And they just finally they were okay with it, and they kind of just left it at that. But I was so mad because they were trying to act like it was my car that caused the problem, even though if you looked at my car, it didn't even trade paint. There wasn't any paint damage. My car was completely fine. Alan could not have hit the car, and this dent was bad. Like, it was giving the door problems opening.
Nice.
Yeah, they're like, look what happened.
Look at what happened! Oh, I can't open my door. And I'm like, bullshit, motherfuckers.
Awesome.
The force went through the car and exploded on the other side.
Your car is like Jet Li.
Boom! It looks like he's barely tapping and the heart's flying out of his body.
You should have just been like, yeah, you're right. He did this dent, and look at all the other fucking dents.
Look at what my car did. I am so sorry.
Holy
Here,
crap.
let me give you my insurance information right now. It's like, it was just, it was one of the first times that I just wasn't going to take it anymore.
Yeah.
There's a point in your life where you stop taking crap, and that was like my tipping point.
Yeah.
I haven't eaten crap ever.
But you've taken it. I know you have.
Okay, I got, so I was just looking at my list. So I
Good,
have,
good, I'm glad.
No,
I thought we were gonna
because I
segue
was
that.
thinking about it. No. Hey, this is better than, hey guys, what are we going to talk about next?
Well,
say
just
that.
throw that out there.
Yeah, I know.
I tried
didn't
to
say
segue
that.
into the
I
story.
tried to segue.
Swagway?
Swagway. Okay.
You did not. All right, get to your
Okay,
fucking list.
so-
You heard it first here.
YOLO.
Swagway.
Swagway. It's like a Segway with swag.
This is
Yo, what's
this
up
is our
next?
first shirt.
Oh my god. Yes, Swagway. Segway with swag.
Okay.
Copyrighted, everyone.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm getting...
A little creepy story. So a little backstory, just a little thing for you guys to know. So me and Elizabeth, have been talking about
Marriage.
being more
Good job.
committed and everything.
Oh wow, really?
Yeah,
Holy
so
crap.
just because it's like we've been together for a long time, we really like each other. We're talking more in the...
We just like each other.
That's good. I'm glad you like each
We're
other.
talking more in the aspects of like what we want to do with our future, like, and we've been kind of combining finances because we've been doing a lot of grocery shopping together, or paying bills together, things like that. But we were kind of interested in talking about wedding rings after you had brought up your ring. We started talking about it, and so we were looking around, and we found a really nice one that she
By
liked.
the way, he was pointing at Daniel.
Oh yeah, Daniel, your wedding ring.
He's the only married one here right now.
So-
But what if you've been buying a ring, Levi, for
some
whoever?
Anyway,
No, for Aaron.
Anyways.
Not for Aaron, no. Oh, you meant or Aaron.
I said or
Right,
Aaron.
'cause- okay.
Whoa,
Whoa,
is
there's
there
something
something
you guys need to tell me?
Thank God, no.
Okay, so
Oh, I'm so
anyways,
sorry, Aaron.
Oh my God.
we're looking at rings, and we looked at the Shaneco website just because
A Utah original. Oh wait, no, that's the training table.
No, it's
it's
Whatever. We're not going to.
friend
Wait,
is
no,
a
stop.
diamond.
We're
Yeah,
not
friend.
promoting.
it's because I always hear articles about it on X96 and everything. Well, we went
Really?
on
I couldn't find anything there.
we went online to their place, and Elizabeth found one that she really liked.
How much?
Total is about 1,500.
100?
Yeah. Like, does that seem expensive or cheap?
Cheap.
Expensive.
That's unbelievably cheap.
No, it is- but it was a good-
penny pinching bastard.
No, it was a good one. You take lots. Okay. Anyways, it was one we liked, and we just thought we'd look at it and everything. We're probably not going to get it just because it is $1,500. But if we were richer,
You bought the ring,
like
didn't
no, like when she finishes her master's program and she's making more than me, between the two of us there will be no way that we can't afford the ring. We'll get it then, you know.
So here's my question. Why are you getting a ring if you were never getting married?
No, we were going to get married.
Oh.
But
see,
we're
The
waiting.
last I heard, she never wanted to
Yeah,
get
well,
married.
she didn't, but I was able to convince her because I'm that good. You know?
All right, good man. Kids next.
How did you
that
convince
one.
her?
In bed.
I have.
What?
Yeah,
You-
No
What?
way.
Wait,
I
what?
convinced her to
have kids?
to have kids. Yeah.
You.
Whoa.
How
You
many?
dog.
How many?
I love
How
it.
many?
Between
At least
1 to
one or
4.
two.
4.
No way!
She said the only way she's gonna have kids is either 0 or 4. I'm trying to bring her down to 2.
0 or 4. Why such a specific amount after one?
She has names that she wants to use.
It's all or none.
Do you want
That's
to
the
drop
only
me
reason
a
you should
napkin?
have kids.
Oh my gosh, this is going to be wonderful when you have 3 kids and then triplets.
No,
No, because luckily we're gonna adopt.
We'll get back.
So that's not gonna be an issue.
Al,
but-
we'll get back to you. Like, don't worry. Small side note here. I'm so freaked out that Kylie and I, when we try to have kids, are gonna have twins.
You can't.
Why?
Twins skip a
Skips.
generation.
No, there's no scientific data proving that.
Okay, 1 second. I'll be right back with my scientific data. I don't
I'm pretty sure I've heard that.
Generally-
He comes back with the case study. He's like, okay.
I had this. Okay. I'm not saying for sure we're gonna have them,
But you're scared.
I'm scared because I always wanted
I was going to be much happier when you had triplets, dude.
no.
I'm on this triplets thing.
No. I always wanted 2 kids, no more than 2 kids.
Just one
so
and done for me. Oh, 3.
Azur's there and
2 or 4.
what?
Okay.
Anyways, back to
You can't have an odd number of kids.
Yeah.
Look what happened here.
Yeah. Look at what happened to Aaron. Anyway.
No, me.
Look at what happened to Levi.
Okay, so anyways,
Just kidding.
we looked at rings at Shaneco, and we found one we liked
we're back
and
at this.
everything. I got to finish the story because I didn't even get to the creepy part.
This was a creepy
This
story?
is a creepy story. So we went, one day we had some free time and we were around the area. We stopped into Shane Company to look at the rings and everything and just get an idea of how it looked in real life and everything. And so we looked at the rings, we talked to a couple of salespeople, and then we left. The creepy thing, though, a couple days ago, I was listening to X96, And the radio ad comes on for Shane Company. And it's not the normal ad. Normally they just have like...
Fucking ridiculous.
No, let me finish. So normally it's an ad like just saying we handpick our diamonds straight from the sourcing, come and see it, and everything like that. Yeah, but oh my god,
They indoctrinated all of us.
No,
What the hell?
this time it was nothing I've ever heard. They first start off by talking about their rings. Like their specific type of rings. They say we have a specific person in store picking out rings.
The girl.
And her name is Alicia.
Yeah.
The same person who hung out, who talked to us.
Oh.
Okay.
Cool.
And then they said, we know there are some people who are looking at rings or have come to look at rings and are still deciding whether to buy it. And we just wanted to let you know that sometimes these rings don't stay in stock forever. So if you're thinking about getting them, you better come in soon in order to get them, or else you might miss your chance. And that's how it ends. And I'm like, that is so creepy.
Give me the ring!
No, they're holding the ring at ransom. If you want it now, you better come and get it.
Got a knife to it.
Yeah.
I will ruin the integrity.
I was really freaked out. Like, just the ad, you hear stacks, Alan, come to Shane Company. What's going on here?
If you play the commercial backwards.
Come get the ring, Alan
That will be
You're not listening to this podcast backwards. That was me saying it full forward, I promise you. Well, speaking of creepy, not as creepy or not as vanilla as your
situational
story.
creepy.
It's different situational. So, right now I'm going cactus cooler.
Yeah, I don't know.
What the heck?
That's the most ghetto sounding drink I've ever heard in my life.
Cactus cooler?
Why are you hating on my drinks, man?
What is it?
Cactus cooler.
What? You've never heard of Cactus Cooler?
I've never heard of
Who the fuck has never heard of
The three of us
my
here?
gosh.
What
You
is
guys,
it?
It's like...
Cactus water?
No. It's like carbonated Sunny D.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Oh
I'm
my
gonna try
gosh.
this.
I thought you were making fun of me for buying Cactus Cooler, but no. You're just sheltered.
Where, what did you get in Florida?
No.
California.
I grew up on this.
Okay, anyways.
It doubles as a laxative.
Oh my gosh. No, it doesn't say that. What the fuck? Yes, dude. I just wanted to see you guys shit all over my house.
Okay, anyways, so due to very unfortunate circumstances in life, currently my wife and I live in two separate houses. My parents' house and her parents' house. It sucks balls. It is the worst thing ever.
Why did we laugh at that? We were so immature.
Especially the fact that her house is just, I don't like her house. It's uncomfortable.
Her house sucks balls too.
Yeah. Well, and the thing is like her
family sucks balls.
Some people in her family suck balls. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Anyways, they've been going through tough times, so it's just not a fun place to be around. It really sucks. But last weekend, Easter weekend. Easter weekend, the rest of her family went down to Hatch, which is just southern Utah, to go and visit their grandparents, and so we just had the house to ourselves. No, her grandparents are actually pretty cool.
Okay.
Anyways, we had the house entirely to ourselves. It was just me, Kylie, and Azure. Alan, there's always a kid involved, so don't...
Whoa! What the hell, dude? What are you doing?
Don't take that the wrong way. I mean, there's always a kid around, so nothing funky is happening, okay? Anyways.
Continue.
I was making jokes in the past about how their house has a ghost because there's just been a lot of crap going on there. Okay, well, these 4 days were the creepiest 4 days I've ever spent in that house. Okay,
So the first day was normal, but at night we lock all the doors.
That's right, you did.
And
tell me
everything
about
like that, so that no one could get in. Obvious thing, and everything like that. We woke up the next morning and all the doors to the outside were unlocked. It wasn't even just one; it was all of them. And I didn't unlock them. Kylie distinctly remembers locking them. There's a chance that we just forgot, and we thought we did. Whatever. Still creepy because we didn't remember.
I think it'd be hilarious if one of the members of the family stayed over and was like, I'm gonna mess with them these next 4 days. And they just hide all day. At night they come out, unlock all the doors, and this'll freak them.
It'd be funny if there
Yes.
wasn't pictures of them where they were. Anyways.
Could have been last year's picture.
Yeah. Anyways, so there's something, they have the stairs with the slats. And when you walk by them, sometimes the colors going through the slats looks like someone's walking upstairs. And so I just always think I'm seeing someone upstairs, but I've just concluded it's that. But at the night that the doors were unlocked, we were in the kitchen and we heard this just really loud bang, like something really big had fallen in the garage or in the basement or upstairs.
Below you, above you, around you. Who knows what that
it was
came
something.
from.
But it felt like, it kind of sounded like a big gust of wind had hit the house, but there hadn't been a big gust of wind.
And chucked a rock at the same time.
Something. But we checked the entire house. Nothing was out of place. Nothing was wrong.
Those
Anything
are the
like
best.
that. But it wasn't just a normal it was quite a bit more, It was enough to, make Azure jump and me kind of whoa, what was going on and everything like that.
Daniel was clinging to the ceiling.
More scared than Azure. It'll be okay. It'll be okay.
So
he's holding up Azure
like,
Could you imagine if that's your first reaction? Take her!
Wow, I'd be a horrible stepdad. Anyways, so the rest of the weekend, nothing weird happened, so I just kind of chalked it to normal causes or whatever. But then the other day, we were in the basement working on stuff, and there wasn't... What?
Sorry.
I was going to do something too. Okay, no, nothing. Anyways, they have this cold storage underneath their patio, and they don't have a door on it because their basement isn't finished. So it has a tarp and a stick, kind of like a...
Unfinished wall?
Not even an unfinished wall, just a really makeshift door covered in tarp.
Mm-hmm.
There was no wind, nothing whatsoever, and the tarp moved. It was
I'm not saying ghosts.
No, it was creepy. It was creepy because I was trying to recreate things to kind of get a breeze to go.
Look, Kylie.
I went like this.
No, I tried opening doors and things like that to see if I could get a breeze to get it to move, but it wouldn't move again.
No pressure
so,
change.
Oh man.
Yeah, exactly.
There could have been pressure on the other
was
end.
that?
And I know that.
What day was that?
A couple days ago.
Days ago.
Because a couple days ago...
I
no.
breathed really hard.
Well, no, I had a creepy.
And I knew that something moved when I did that.
No, I had something really creepy happen at my apartment on Tuesday. Tuesday was that big windstorm.
Right, yeah.
And there was a lot of stuff going on. Well, so I was the only one in the apartment.
Awesome.
And I was cleaning Sonic and Moe's cage and their stuff and everything.
That's right.
And I was almost done, and I was getting ready to be done and just kind of hang out, watch TV or something. And then all of a sudden, my entire apartment lights begin to flickering really bad, and then they go out. And so I'm sitting there freaked out, going, did the power just go out? But then the power all the lights come back on. I'm like, what's going on here? And they start flickering again. Mm-hmm. And so I'm starting to really freak out here because I'm like,
Supernatural,
what's going on?
watched enough.
And then they turn off again, and I'm like, okay, no, it was just the power. But they come on a third time, and I'm like, this is not a power outage. What is going on? And this time when they're flickering, there are lamps that I did not have on that were flickering on and off as well. And I'm like, why is this happening to me when I'm home alone?
What would have been more funny is like the power goes off and then it comes back. like Mo's head's done like a complete 180.
Luckily, they were in like Mo. I was done with Mo's cage at that point. And Sonic
That's their
was
other
little
rodent,
thing.
by the way.
Mo and Sonic, yeah, my hedgehog and chinchilla.
I was gonna say.
Where
ferret.
did you come up with his name, Mo's?
That was the name they gave him.
That was the given name.
Yeah, we kept it because he's lived with
He
for like 3
responds to
years
it?
with Mo, as Mo. So
What?
Does he respond to it?
I don't know if you call it responding.
Mo, sit.
Just lie there.
Hide in
Mo,
that.
run around. Yeah, good. No, stand still. Yeah, good.
Look at me! Stop looking at me.
So it's funny that you mentioned that because it reminds me of another creepy thing that happened to me at work. But I know.
What is this, creepy day?
Yeah, I guess this creepy day. So you know the bathroom across the hall from my office, okay? It's a men's bathroom, and so
I've seen a lot of girls go in there. Just kidding.
you go in, and on the wall directly in front of you is all the stalls, and then you kind of do a U-turn around the corner, and there's the urinals and the sink.
Yeah.
And so at night, normally the lights turn out because they're motion sensor, and so usually I'll go in there after I've locked up the building, and the lights are off, and they'll turn back on. And so it's a good way for me to know, one, no one's like hiding in there, and two, you know, everyone's kind of been kicked out and everything like that. So usually I'm happy to see that the lights are off when I walk into that bathroom. So I walk into the bathroom
And they're on.
no, they're off. They're off. So I'm like, oh good, no one's in here. And then all of a sudden they turn on and the sink starts going. And I'm like, what the fuck? Is someone in here? I turn the corner and the light's flashing and the first sink is just going. Okay? And then the first sink stops and the second sink starts going.
Bull crap.
No, I kid you not. The second sink starts going and then stops, and then the light stops flickering, and I'm waiting for the third sink to start going, and I'm just standing
Like,
there.
standing next to the wall,
you
like,
know?
just do it. And if when he
the third sink ended up not going. Or anything
the
like
fourth sink.
No. but those first two sinks, right as the first one ended, the second
And
one
then there was
started
just
going.
a simultaneous flush.
Yeah. But it was just
Dude, that is freaky.
that
as
was
shit.
freaky. Yeah. I thought someone was in there. I'm like, what the fuck? The lights are on, which means that they hadn't moved for at least like 15 minutes.
It was just like,
And then
I'm
they
gonna
stopped.
scare the shit out of this guy.
That would be awesome if like third one started just shaking and
Oh man.
or all the lights just shut off consecutively up to you.
I know,
That
but
would've been
like I have such an overactive
That's weird, though.
imagination that I'm always worried I'm gonna like turn the corner. and
I'd be
there's
massively bugged by
an
that.
alien or a ghost.
I'd have actually ended up calling you and staying on the phone with you the rest of the time that I was in the school.
I like to
I
try to
wasn't there
scare
very
Levi.
long. Really?
Yeah.
I hate my life when I come home. I
Anytime
scan
he
the
goes
parking
to the
lot.
bathroom, anytime he comes home, and anytime I turn on my PS4, it's like he's just got to be prepared. Or else.
Because his TV does that stupid thing, and so he tries to get me every time, and almost every time I'll fall for it. Every now and again when I drive into the parking lot, I scan for his car. Just like, where is it? And the days that I don't are the days that he's not sitting on the couch. So I open it and no one's there. So I stand for at least 30 seconds not doing anything, just listening. Then I'll put my mail down, I'll put something else down, and then come over to this side to look through. Or if I did that yesterday, I'll come back to the other side to look through. And then I'll check his room, and I'll check the bathroom.
You listening, Aaron?
Yeah.
He's lame. Because he scares the crap out of me.
There was one day, like, I just wish he would have seen me, but he comes home, he does all that checking stuff, and I had just been hiding under my desk, and so no one's home.
Oh, yeah, that's
he sits
right.
on the recliner, and he starts getting into his game and everything, and I'm like, all right, this is my time to go. And so I make
crawling.
I'm crawling out of my room, and I make it close to like the kitchen doorway, but then like he starts like moving around and everything, so I back up and I get back into my room. And he doesn't see
Are
me.
you serious?
He didn't even see me that time. And so
Damn.
so then I start again and everything, and I'm going and I'm going. I don't know. Like, you didn't even hear me or
Just
something.
looked
You
over,
just,
dude.
For some reason, he just looked over, and I was just there, like, in pose. Like,
But you can't tell me that didn't freak you out anyway.
It didn't surprise me when I saw him. I was like, oh,
Wow.
so he was
But
home.
it's funny because back when I was carpooling with Aaron to work. Well, it was like
Actually,
it was like
I called Aaron a couple times too. Some days I'll check the house for 5 minutes, and then I'm like,
And you'll call.
And so I called Aaron,
and he's like, "Oh, I'm out with someone."
Well, just if he answers, I'm like, "Oh, thank goodness."
But so it had to have been just like the last week.
You.
The last week we were carpooling there, unfortunately. But he has this sick, Nerf gun, like this massive Nerf gun. And so the first
Nerf gun.
Nerf gun. Ooh, I'm just kidding.
What?
Nerf?
Oh, nurse gun.
Nerf gun.
Yeah, is that your...
That's
thought
a
of
nurse.
No, it was just supposed to be sexy.
That's sexy nurse Aaron.
That's Pegasus nurse. Anyways, so the first day he does it, I walk up to his door and knock on the door, and he had set up the couch as like a bunker, and has the gun sitting over it, and he has a string tied to the door, and so I knock, and he pulls it open and starts shooting me and everything. I was like, okay, so now this is a game. You have to try to get into the house without me shooting you, and I'm like, okay, fine. So the next day I pull up and I get out, and I'm kind of like looking, and I was thinking of just going around the back and like trying to get into the back door, and I'm walking in, and then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, Aaron's coming up behind me and shooting. Apparently he had hidden in his trunk and had jumped out to shoot me with the Nerf gun.
I had so many more plans too. Like one was gonna be like box day. I was gonna get so many big boxes and just put them out in front of my lawn and everything, and I'd just be hiding under one of the boxes, but you wouldn't know which box it was. And it wasn't even gonna be a box. It was gonna be like taped to like my arms and everything, and I'd
So
just
you
be
look like a
holding
box.
it closed and then just like pull it open and be like.
Well, it's funny because
Awesome.
if we had kept doing that, we couldn't, because I ended up moving and it just wasn't viable to carpool. But I had a Nerf gun too, and so what I wanted to do was come in with my Nerf gun and just do a whole like tactical.
I would have allowed it.
Thing the whole way, and if I shot him before he got me, then I was good for the day.
I was gonna do a one on choices where I was going to like just like leave a gun out there, and you could choose to pick up the gun, but then I would be able to shoot you. But if you didn't pick up the gun, I wouldn't like attack an unarmed person, and you wouldn't be able. So it would have been like.
What are you gonna do?
Yeah, what are your choices? And then there was one, I was going to, because it was kind of snowy, so I was thinking maybe I'd dress up because like we were out in the snow anyways, and so if we had a lot of good like warm clothing, I was going to just like get in the snow and just be chilling there.
Oh my god.
Got that one from The Office, but
It was a fun idea. I wish we had been able to implement it more. Yeah, it was just funny.
just coming up with different ways.
It reminds me of the time I was like, have you ever done, well, I know you guys haven't because you've never been drunk. Have you ever done Nerf while you were drunk?
Done Nerf?
Like Nerf fights?
That sounds like a drug.
No.
While you were drunk.
To be honest, Daniel, I've been drunk a lot less than you because most of the time I'm the person who has to stay sober for everyone else. So
That's lame.
You haven't lived, apparently.
I feel
No,
like
no.
I feel like the outcast here because I've been drunk a lot.
That's okay. You can.
I
roll with it.
Yeah.
If I was,
Just roll with
I
it.
would only drink to get drunk.
Well, that's the point.
See,
It's
and I
just
would
wasted.
see the
I would
point.
like to get drunk, but every time I go out, there's always someone else who wants to get like shit-faced drunk, and so I have to
like Felipe. Oh my God, the stories.
Yeah. Like I'm
Do
the
tell.
one who has to I'm the one who has to
to-
stay sober, so that way we don't have a bunch of stupid ass drunk
Except
people
for
going around.
the one time we went to what's his name, Robert's party. Alan's drinking like Mountain Dew and vodka and eating a bunch of Doritos.
Oh, that was horrible.
And so
horrible.
like I wasn't drinking at that point.
Mountain Dew and vodka, like mixed together.
it together. It's
What's
not
that called?
good.
Nasty? Okay.
Yeah, it's called nasty. Anyways,
What?
no, it's not.
no, it was
Do the
bad.
nasty.
It was a bad day
Alan
for
was
me.
drinking at that
It's
point.
called the
but I
Russian
wasn't.
Mountain.
I hadn't started
Wow.
drinking yet, and it was me, Alan, Bowles, and Felipe. And
That was a fun night though.
yeah, well, Bowles didn't drink. I didn't drink. Felipe drank a little bit, but Alan like just pounded this stuff. He was just going at it. So we get done with the party because it just really wasn't our scene, and we head back to Felipe's house to play like card games or whatever.
We were gonna play Halo. I remember.
We were gonna play, and Alan
It's like, I was drunk.
no,
But I do remember.
No, because
I'm remembering Halo.
I always wanted to play Halo drunk, and so I'm like, we should play Halo.
Yeah.
We should play Halo, everyone.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. I have never played Halo better than when I was buzzed.
Yeah.
Because you
Same
don't
here.
think about it.
You're just
in the game and you're going
Or maybe
for it.
just
No.
think.
No, there was one
KD.
night.
I have
Yeah.
KD proof.
No, there was one night where
Gosh.
I brought like a 6-pack to Cade's house. I think this was while you were on your mission. No, you were there. I don't know. You might have been in Cedar City.
Maybe there was just a mirror.
Anyways, I'm pretty sure it was just me. I think it was me, Felipe, Bulls, and Cade. And I just like pounded the 6-pack because
You just drink it all?
yeah, because it's one of the few places where I could kind of get drunk and not have to worry about it because everyone else isn't drinking, and so I can do it and not have to worry about everyone else getting drunk too. So, but we plugged in Halo, and I was dominating. Like, I wasn't drunk, I was just buzzed, so I was still
Yeah, and I'm not
coherent,
talking about
you know?
drunk.
Yeah.
I'm talking about buzz.
Yeah.
To the point where
I
you're
was-
not overthinking.
You say those things.
Okay, let me explain it to you in a terms that you might be able to understand.
One is
Okay.
drunk. D-R-U-N-K.
Remember
The other is
there's-
buzz.
No.
Remember that time you had all that sugar?
No, there's sober. Okay, sober is how you
I
are
don't.
now.
I don't know what sober is.
Yeah, you do. You know what it is. Okay, buzzed. Have you ever been lightheaded? Like really lightheaded?
You ever stayed up till 4 o'clock in the
Yeah. Have you ever stayed up till 4 o'clock in the
And
morning
everything
and
is
been
fine.
lappy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
buzzed.
exactly how
That's
buzzed
exactly
is.
what buzzed is.
Exactly
The only
to
difference
the
is you
T.
don't have to be tired.
Yeah.
Mm.
You don't feel anything. You really don't feel anything physically or mentally. Everything's just a little more funny. You're not thinking straight. That's what
Basically,
it
you
is.
don't care.
Yeah.
You don't care.
You're giving me the creepiest smile. You just don't care.
Now, drunk is when you go a step further than that and things get like dizzy, like coming out of anesthesia. That's what being drunk is like.
Okay.
Okay, so you know what it's like. You just haven't done it with alcohol,
which is
Okay.
good. It's not bad.
but that's exactly how it feels. So buzzed is how you are at 4 o'clock in the morning, but not tired.
Yeah.
So that's the big difference is if you're not
I
tired.
prefer to be dead tired.
But that's fine. But that's what helps us pick it up on Halo.
Yeah. So
Anyways, so we were going to go back. We finally get back to Felipe's house. We literally pull up, and Alan pukes his guts
Yes.
out
Yeah.
on the front lawn.
I can't drink vodka still.
And then he's like out in the backyard just puking his guts out while we're all there playing card games
Yes.
and everything like that.
That sucks.
I hate that you're enjoying that.
I'm sorry.
What?
I just remember a story now because of it.
What?
Oh, okay.
Was this the one with the car ride?
Yeah.
Where-
Maybe.
You had to give a ride to someone who was like really
Yeah.
drunk? Yeah, you told me this story, Aaron. I felt so bad for you. Okay, I want to hear it.
Okay. So.
He's traumatized
I-
right now.
Yeah.
It was a traumatizing experience.
So it
Who was
was. Yeah. Well, I'll get to that. But like, it was late at night. My parents had already gone to bed, but I was still living at home. But I was kind of at that age where
Didn't
I could,
matter.
I could just leave out the front door and they wouldn't mind too much if it was late or whatever. And so I said I was going and everything, and then I just got out the front door and I left because like a friend had texted me saying there was like this party and like she wanted me to go and everything like that. I need to stop saying that. But anyways. Well, she was just saying she was going and she didn't have anyone to go with, and so.
I'm sorry. I'm laughing at that because Daniel finishes every other sentence with everything like that.
Yeah.
That's why I was laughing at Aaron.
Well,
Anyway, not that
It's
I
like,
go.
I like to broaden
Like-
things
So
and everything like that.
this is my first experience with Glenwood, like that Glenwood area.
Yeah, I don't know it either.
It's a really bad area, at least for what I
Where is
saw.
it?
It's like it's the square that's made between like 201 and like the belt route.
Oh, I don't think I remember.
And
I don't go over there.
I-15, yeah, you don't want to. But I finally make it to the party and everything, and there's people and everything. I was still underage and everything, so I knock, I get in, she's already there and everything, so I'm just talking, making friends with some of the people. Everyone's like, hey, you want a drink? And I was like, no, I'm good. I don't drink and everything, and so they're like, okay, that's fine and everything. But Maciel was there to just shoot. Yeah. But I'm sure she won't care, but she was just there to get drunk and everything, and so she's drinking and she's just constantly she's one of the drunks that she'll just yell at everyone or just
you're so cool.
Yeah.
She's a rude girl.
Yeah, definitely. And so she's constantly asking me to drink, and I'm like, no, it's fine, I don't drink and everything. And so it gets to the night where I've made some friends with some of the people there that were pretty cool, but there was a whole two group of people, the kitchen people and the living room people.
Yeah, that's how it goes.
And so the kitchen people were all the people drinking and having fun and everything, and then the living room people were just people kind of sitting.
So they were hanging out.
Well, they were sitting there, and I think someone just completely stoned or something. But they were the weirder of the two. So I was hanging out with the kitchen people, and we were all having fun. And then Maciel was she got to the point where it was past her limit, and she was hiding in closets in the house and trying to text some person or something. And I forgot what our plan was, but her cousins were there too, and for some reason I had to give Maciel a ride back to my house so that her cousin could take her.
Wasn't her cousin needing to go home, but their home was far away, so they were going to take the car because they didn't have it, and then they were going to come pick up Marcial in the morning?
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah. And so he was going to leave his car at my house, and then I was going to drive him back from Maciel's work in the morning to pick up his car and everything. It was some weird, crazy plan and everything.
Yeah.
But we ended up getting Maciel into my car for some reason. I don't know why we didn't just put her into his car. Because she wanted to ride with me or whatever. I don't know.
Probably.
She's just drunk. But
I want to ride with you.
she's constantly trying to touch me in the car, and I was like, no, just just
put your hands back
and everything. And I see this. We're going down Redwood or whatever, and I see this cop and everything. So I was like, well, I'll just turn off and everything. I don't even want to bother with it. And so I was gonna hit bang at her or whatever. And we get to this place, and I don't know why I stopped, but it looked like he was having problems following me or something. So I stopped, and then he stopped and everything. And I was just getting out of the car to talk to him because I don't know, she was crazy. Oh, she needed a barf. Okay, so she needed to barf and everything, and I think she had either at that time or before she had barfed on my shoes.
Oh, dude.
And they were pretty new shoes and everything. And I was talking to the guy, and all of a sudden I hear my car start up.
What?
Because I had left my keys in the car and everything. And so I'm 2 seconds flat to the door, trying to open up the handle, and I could see Maciel inside with this big grin on her face, and the door was locked.
Oh,
So
my gosh.
She's in the car, laughing her ass off. And I'm like, Maciel?
You unlock this damn door.
Open the car door. And she told me later on the only reason she opened the door for me was that she didn't know how to drive a stick.
Oh, thank goodness.
Yeah,
thank goodness. But no, she tried, and she ended up just revving the engine a little bit, but then she stopped. And so And then finally opened the door for me. And I was like, you open the door for me, and I'll get it started for you, you know? And then you can go. And so she's like, okay. And so I was like, no.
Screw you.
But it was a crazy night. And then, yeah.
I feel like this is the best time for me to tell my acid spread.
You haven't said it on the
my
podcast?
God.
No, last time I was going to, you didn't want me to, Daniel,
Yeah.
remember?
No.
You were like,
I think I was
no one
tempted to."
wants to hear that. He says all this weird stuff. No one's going to
We
want
didn't
to listen to
mention
that. Okay.
I was the ringleader on that one.
Oh, you're the ringleader? Okay.
Thanks, guys.
Best worst acid trip story ever. So, it was back a couple of years ago when I was still in the theater department at the University of Utah, and one of the student directors I had worked with, was having a party, and I was up on campus around that time, and I'm like, yeah, sure, why not? I'll stop by. I could have some fun and everything. So I get to the party, and it's not really a party. It's just a bunch of people sitting around drinking and doing stuff and everything. And about an hour into the party,
Air quotes were used.
yeah, air quotes, party. The guy who invited me, he was like, hey, we're gonna actually go in and do some acid. Do you want to take a few hits with us? And I'm like, no, it's good. I have to go drive later and everything. I'll be fine. Don't worry about it. So he and a couple other people go in, and afterward, all these people are laughing it up and everything. And the person who invited me, he's getting a little more, eccentric and everything as the time goes on. And at one point, he's all like, hey, Alan, you know what we should do? We should go burn down a building. And so I'm like having fun with this and everything, but I don't want to go burn down a building. So I just go, you know what? That sounds like a great idea, but you know what? We shouldn't do this today. We should do it some other day. He's like, yes, Al, that's a good idea. You know what? The prophecy is not today, but soon. But soon we will go and everything. I am the Antichrist. So he said that, and then everyone's all laughing and everything, and then he just keeps saying that stuff over and over again. Over and over and over and over, and everyone's like, oh, crap. Too many times to count. Oh, crap, he's on a loop. And I'm like, is that normal? And they're like, yeah, he'll be fine. Don't worry about it. I'm like, okay, well, we'll see. And so a couple minutes later, a large group of people, including the person who invited me, decided to go outside to get some air and everything. And I decided to stay up in the apartment for a little bit to talk to a few people. But like 20 minutes goes by and everyone's still outside. And so I decided to go out and check on them because I'm kind of annoying like that. I like to make sure everyone's all right. And I get out there, and the guy who invited me is nowhere to be seen. And I'm like, hey guys, where's so-and-so? And they're like, oh, he started running down the street yelling things, the same thing over and over again. He'll just go around the block and come back. Don't worry about it. I'm like, you guys let him run off into who knows where while on acid? He's the one who lives at this apartment. If he gets picked up by the cops, they're going to come right here, and all of you are going to be here. And they're like, no, don't worry about it. He'll be fine. And so I'm like, okay, I trust you guys. You know this better than I do. So like 5 minutes goes by, and then all of a sudden I'm getting these texts from him. The prophecy is not today, but soon. I am the Antichrist, over and over and over again. And then
I know what was going through his mind. Like, this had to be one sick prophecy.
Yeah, no kidding. Well, and then
to burn down this building.
And then he calls me, and he's like, hey, Alan, the prophecy is not today, but soon. I am the Antichrist. And then he goes, are there cops in my apartment? I'm like, no, dude, there are no cops in your apartment. He's like, oh, good, okay, I trust you, Alan, because the prophecy is not today, but soon. I am the Antichrist. God. Are there cops in my apartment? And he just keeps going and going, and then hangs up out of nowhere. He just hangs up, and I'm like, I'm trying to figure out where he is. And after a few hundred more texts and a few more calls, I'm like, guys, we need to go out and find him. But my car, I parked way far away, and so it'd take me a while to get to my car and drive around. So luckily, this other guy comes, and he's stone sober because he's just made it there.
Stone sober.
Cold sober. And so I explained to him what's happening. He's like, God, dude, what the fuck is everyone else doing? We gotta get going. So we take his car and we start driving around everywhere trying to find him. And we're like searching all around the neighborhoods and everything, looking for him. And he's like, you know what? We should go check by the cemetery, because he usually goes to the cemetery. So we drive along the edge of this. I don't know. They know him better than I do. So we drive along the edge of the cemetery, and as we get to the furthest end of the cemetery that we could get, we see him. And he's missing his shoes and shirt at this point. He's just walking around in the middle of nowhere without shoes or shirt. And so I get out. I'm like, hey, dude, come on. Let's get in the car. Let's get you back and everything. He's like, okay, yeah. The prophecy is not today but soon. I am the Antichrist. And then he stops. Are there cops in my apartment? And I'm like, no, dude, there are no cops at your apartment. It's like, okay, good, I trust you. And then he'll walk closer to the car. And then he'll freak out and say, are there cops in my apartment? Run away from the car. And then he'll stop again, and I have to coax him in. It took us a good 20 minutes to finally coax him into the car.
Goodness.
And when we finally do get him into the car, we start driving. And he starts freaking out in the back seat and starts reaching up towards the steering wheel, trying to pull the steering wheel from the guy driving. I'm sitting there holding him back and everything, and we finally had to stop the car, and he just throws open the door and runs out. And then after another 10 minutes of coaxing him, we finally get him in again. This time I'm a little smart, though. I put on the child lock. But right before I was going to do it, he's like, I don't trust you. Go in the car. And so I don't hit the child lock. I just sit in the car, close the door, open it again, and go, see, look, we're good. And then hurry and click the child lock as I'm walking away. And then he gets into the car, and he's stuck. And so I'm sitting there fighting him back the rest of the drive home. And by the time we get back to the apartment, I'm just done for the night. Like, I love the story now, but by the end of that, I was in the worst mood I have been in my entire life.
I'm out.
I'm like, he's your guys' problem now.
I'm leaving, and I'm calling the cops. Because the prophecy is never going to happen.
The prophecy is today. What's great, too, is I told a lot of my friends about that story. Some of them knew him, and they would make fun of him all the time with that. They'd go, hey, the prophecy's not today, but soon. And he would just be like, ha, ha, ha.
Funny, guys, funny.
Have I ever told you guys the story of how I am like a master lockpick when I'm drunk?
Yeah, I think so.
No.
Okay, so I get invited to this party. I knew some of the people, but I didn't know a lot of them. It was just kind of a Christmas party and everything that I was invited to. And we get there, and I'd had a really bad time, so I wanted to get drunk, and so that's what I did. I took a bunch of shots of Jaeger, which anyone who drinks knows, if you want to get drunk fast, you take a bunch of shots of Jaeger. That'll get you there. Anyways, I had taken a bunch of those, but I'd taken them really quickly, so I wasn't feeling it yet. So I decided to play a game of beer pong, and I had Alyssa as my partner, and she didn't want to drink, so I ended up being the one who was drinking all the drinks. So I had a whole bunch of shots of Jaeger. I had like a couple of beers and then all of the drinks in the thing. So I was very, very good drunk. So at that point, I'm just hanging out. I'm loving it. I'm talking with everyone. I am an awesome drunk. Everyone loves me.
You think everyone loves you.
Yeah, they might think I'm hugely annoying, but I'm in your face when I'm drunk. But we get to a point, and there was this girl there that was dating someone, but their date wasn't there, or their boyfriend wasn't there. But she was a slut. She was a huge slut. And
I like how you were just like, she was totally a slut.
Totally
like
a slut.
she was a little bored. No, actually, on second sober thought, she was gone.
But I guess there was a guy there that she really wanted to, have some fun with, and so they had found this like stairwell outside that led to the basement door, and they had started doing something, but someone had seen them, and the person who'd seen them come inside, and they're like, isn't this person dating someone? And we're like, yeah, and it's like, well, she was she was fucking that guy over in that stairwell. I think they went into the basement, but the basement's locked. And they're like, is there a way to get into the basement? Is there a way to get into the basement? And so everyone's going around looking for keys, and I kind of ran to the door and everything, and I'm like jiggling it, and they're like, yeah, we don't have the keys and everything. And literally, as smooth as I could, I was like, I got this.
I pulled out my wallet, just nonchalantly. I got this. Pulled out my UID and just, chow, totally pulled open the door just by using the card. It took me like 2 seconds. I stuck it in there and just, I'm like, I got it, and everyone looked at me, and, you know, everything like that. And we all run into the basement to look around, and it was dark. I had my phone flashlight, and I was drunk. Trippiest basement experience I've ever had. Because it was, I can't even remember if there was walls or just so much junk that it was like a little maze in there.
Daniel's all having fun.
And I'm like looking around. I didn't really care about finding the person. I just cared about, you know, looking
an adventure.
around. And then I found this staircase. I'm like, oh, where does this go to? And I go up I open the door and it's into the kitchen, and everyone's looking at me and they're like, how did you get into the basement? I'm like, I used my card and opened the door down there. And they're like, what? And they're like, we needed to get into the basement to find someone, so I used my card. And they're like, okay. I'm like, nobody was down there. And I just walked away. And I like don't remember, like I was just so nonchalant. I didn't care. I just did it because I was like, I can do this. And just okay, I got it, everyone. And I'm like, ooh, somewhere new to go to. And just walked in. It was fun.
I do kind of miss being drunk.
Well, I want to get this one in because we had written it down. We have kind of
okay
something about it. But who do you think would win in a war, Pokemon or Digimon?
Are we talking about which version of Digimon? Because if we're talking about first season Digimon, they need humans in order to Digivolve, and if not, they're like weak as crap. So they'd probably lose. But if we're talking about like later season Digimon that can just evolve by themselves,
there was Digimon that had already evolved, even though without.
Well, I think it's also like a question of
like the Demigod Mon or whatever.
Demimon or Devimon or
Myotismon.
I guess there are different. Yeah.
Well,
see, I don't think you need.
The question is though, are we talking about the strongest Digimon versus the strongest Pokemon?
No, like a war.
Yeah, and let's say that they're at multiple stages. Some of them are weak, some of them are strong.
It's a war.
Who would win?
Ooh, this is a tough one.
I mean, there are a lot more Digimon than there are Pokemon.
Are we talking about one of each though, or just like, you know, on
the universe versus the universe?
I'd give it to Digimon.
What about you, dude?
I'm thinking. I'd give it to Pokemon.
Why Pokemon?
But snaps! Our side bet was, I betted that Alan would choose Digimon and you would choose Pokemon.
We didn't give it enough time. I bet that Daniel could convince Alan that Pokemon would win.
No,
I knew that Daniel would go for Pokemon. I couldn't. Did we write down who we thought?
No, you wrote down.
Damn it!
I just knew.
Because I knew Daniel would side with Pokemon.
Yeah.
Well,
you said Alan would side with Pokemon.
Did I really?
Yeah.
Maybe I was thinking after he thought about it.
Okay,
But originally...
Because I was saying it's going to be 50-50 because you sided with Pokemon too.
It's harder for one reason only. I need like actual statistics of like how many Digimon there are and how many... Because like if we're talking about like hundreds of thousands of Digimon versus hundreds of thousands of Pokemon, you know...
See, I think it'll be Digimon only for the fact that like some of the Digimon are inherently evil, and so I imagine them to be more deceitful and more.
Well, here's my thing.
Strategic.
You have Pokemon that the highest they can go is what the.
Well, now
the
Mega Evolution.
Mega Evolution, right? That's the highest they can go, but you have like super high Digimons that
there's only 5 levels of Digimon. Okay, and if you include Mega Evolution, that could be up to 4 for Pokemon. So
well, yeah, but you have to like you have like the God Digimon that are like
but you also have like the God Pokemon that are
but comparatively to the Digimon,
No, you don't see.
Dance!
Here's
Dance!
the difference. What you don't see in Pokemon that you see in Digimon is like the destructive power of the things. In Digimon, it's inherently about evil Digimon who are trying to destroy stuff. So you see destruction, outright. But Pokemon, the show, is mainly about a kid going and traveling and catching Pokemon and friendship and building relationships. Very rarely do you see episodes where Pokemon are causing destruction. But the movies, shut up, the movies where you see Pokemon that are causing destruction and crazy things from happening cause a lot of destruction. I mean, think about like the Unknown movie.
Yeah, but also think about this.
The Digimon movies are the same way.
No, think about this. Like think about
when
this.
the Digimon
think about it. No,
guys.
World.
Let's think about it.
In the Pokemon movies, you have a set of 3 trainers and a few other stuff that are able to quell this awesome uprising. In Digimon, it takes a lot of people together.
Together.
So let's change things up, though.
We should change things.
Let's use the first movie as an example, okay?
If you think about the first movie,
they don't defeat Mewtwo. In fact,
did you know that?
They can't. All the clone Pokemon are too strong and everything like that. The Mewtwo fight goes on. The only reason the fighting stops is because of the whole, thing where Mewtwo realizes it's not about, the circumstances of your birth and everything like that.
I watched that when I was 9.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a while since that movie came out. A while.
I'm not talking about clone Pokemon versus Pokemon.
No, but that doesn't. But
we're talking think about
the first Digimon series when Myotismon comes into the world. Mm-hmm. Okay, how many Digimon did he have at his disposal? Okay, if he had as many Digimon as appeared naturally in a Pokemon movie, it wouldn't take all the Digidestined to defeat that many Digimon. I mean, think about how many Digimon a single Digidestined defeated, and then take that with how it goes. And the thing is every Pokemon movie, there's lots of destruction, but it never ends with a defeat, so to speak.
Why is that, though?
Because Pokemon's a different kind of story. It's not about that. Digimon is about repurposing the data. Because the Digimon never truly die. They just get deleted and repurposed in the so they have nothing
to lose. So they're more likely to win.
Yes.
But here
think about the
keep going.
Digital Frontier.
The Digimon Frontier, the one where they turn into Digimon.
I don't even know what they're
think
talking
about how
anymore.
strong. Like, what was the
Crazy
main guy's name?
Lucemon?
Lucemon, yeah. Think about how strong Lucemon was, and the 2 knights and everything. Those alone could probably take on.
Yeah, but you also have to think
army.
about the strongest Pokemon like Arceus, who was supposed to create the universe. Lucemon didn't create the digital world. He's not strong enough to
destroyed it.
No, he didn't. He was beaten by the Digidestined, Alan.
He could have destroyed it
but he didn't.
So think about it.
Yes.
Those Digidestined were so strong that they beat Lucemon. Think about if those Digidestined took care of.
But that's the thing.
Arceus.
Is you can't count the Digimon that are run by the Digidestined, because then you have an extra thing added to the Digimon side of the army.
No, because the Digimon that the Digidestined were encompassing were spirits of real Digimon. So those Digimon existed.
But to defeat Lucemon, they had to all combine. And that Digimon didn't exist until the combination existed, Alan.
No, it did.
No, it didn't.
Yeah.
No, it didn't. Alan, don't be stupid.
No, that's how they defeated Lucemon in the first. They sealed Lucemon in the first place. Was they all came together.
Yeah, they all fought together. They didn't combine into one super thing.
There's nothing saying they didn't.
Show me archaeological proof.
Okay, but there's nothing saying they did either, so it's a moot point. You can't use it. You can't use it on your side, but I can.
But there's nothing showing that Arceus actually created all of time and space.
Boom.
It's Alan. That's what it's described as, Alan. That is its lore.
It's lore. The lore of the 10 warriors.
Okay.
Yes.
No, Alan. The lore of the 10 warriors did not say they combined.
But it's lore. Lore is not fact, Daniel. It's lore.
Okay, fine, but it doesn't matter. Arceus is strong. Okay?
Another point.
And But then you also have to consider, there's only 718 Pokemon.
Seriously,
so
only
there
718.
So you would have
specific
to.
number
You would
that
either
I
have to choose 718 Digimon, or you would have to let the Pokemon double up. So you're talking about these super strong Pokemon that are way above, and the weakest Pokemon are stronger than all of the weakest Digimon.
Bam.
But there's more than 718 strong Digimon. So you could get 718 Mega Forms versus all 718 Pokemon, and you'll be fighting little baby forms with Mega Forms.
Advantage
Kill off all those, and there's multiple to come in and attack.
Then that's where the statistics come in. Because why is it 718 Mega Digimon? Why can't it be 718 of the strongest Pokemon in multiples? Why does it have to be one of every Pokemon, but then all of the strongest Digimon?
Multiples of that Pokemon exist in the world?
Here's the thing, Daniel. Here's the thing. There's only one of every Pokemon, right? So there's there's only one. There's 700.
I got the only Caterpie.
There's 718 individual Pokemon types, right?
Individual Pokemon, yes.
There are a lot more Mega forms of Digimon than 718.
No, there isn't.
Fine, Mega and Ultra. Between Mega and Ultra...
I don't even think between Mega and Ultra.
Yeah, I'm positive there is.
I'm pretty sure when I think about it.
Between Mega and Ultra, there's enough that you could come up with 718 individual types of Digimon. So we're just choosing individual types here. You can only choose 718 individuals because that's only 718. But the Digimon world, there's so many.
But is that what we're limiting ourselves to? Because that changes things. If that's how we're limiting ourselves. If we're saying we're choosing only one of each Pokemon and then we're hand-picking each Digimon, that changes the entire outlook of this whole thing.
How about this? You choose a set list.
We'll come back next week.
The strongest Pokemon. Choose 50. I'll choose 50 of the strongest Digimon, and we'll see who you think would win. Who do you think would win? If you had the 50th strongest Pokemon versus the 50th strongest Digimon, who would win? And we're talking like the God Digimon. What's his bucket from the movie?
If you can't put a name to it.
The giant one with claws. Apocacoromon, Diablo.
Damn, dude, this guy knows it.
Omnimon. I don't know. The God Digimon.
Lucemon. And the combined one of all the Spiritsmon.
Of all the Spiritsmon.
You're Jamaican.
Okay, well fine. If we're doing 50 strongest Digimon versus 50 strongest Pokemon, I'd probably give it to the Digimon. But there's only a few reasons. Because I'm not really sure how Digimon attacks would translate with Pokemon attacks. Because they do seem different. There's...
It's like they're a different anime or something.
Well, yeah, I know, but...
See, I think Digimon attacks would translate.
I don't know if they would, because some of them are sword attacks.
But what if it was a hybrid of Pokemon Stadium and one of the Pokemon used Sand Attack?
God.
They're never gonna hit you.
Well, that's true. There's certain Pokemon abilities that would.
Same with Digimon.
Ooh.
Like what?
Ooh, I threw in a niche. Yes.
What about the heart attack by the teddy bear guy who changes how you feel about things? You could have an army of just him, and he could turn all the Pokemon against each other.
And then you could have an army of just Espers who can't change the way they are because they're just creepy.
Or Dalketties, who if you hit them, you fall in love with them. What happens there?
See, I honestly think
they hate each other, but they love each other.
With the strength that you could gather.
You could just pull the plug on the computer, and then what do the Digimon do?
Oh, snap!
Are we talking about? Is this going to take place in the digital plane or what?
I love
that
how
was amazing.
I just knew that the conversation would...
All you had to do, we were basically done with it, and you asked one question, and magic happened.
Well,
I didn't get to... I had two more things on my list.
Let's do it real fast. Let's do it.
Oh, they're bigger things. We'll save it for next time.
What are they?
We got
What's in the box, Alan?
Well, okay, so one of them was I was going to talk about... so there are two stories that I made up while I used to work at the bookstore that I told to Alan countless people who actually believe me.
You don't like pineapple citrus blast?
Orange cactus cooler.
It's orange pineapple. My bad.
Anyways.
Orange pineapple blast.
So the reason I thought about these stories is because of Aaron's black eye. Mm-hmm. We were talking about different stories that we can make up for that, and it reminded me of there's this one time where me and a friend of mine at work, he had hurt his head and he had gotten a huge gash that needed stitches and everything, and we're kind of talking to some people and we're joking around how he got it in a bar fight. And I'm like, yeah, I was there, we both got in this bar fight and he got stitches and I had to take him to the hospital and everything. And I just expanded on the story of the bar fight.
I thought if I looked at
it being weird.
I thought if I looked at a place above your head, you'd be all weirded out. Like, what the fuck is up there? Anyway, keep on bar fight.
Yeah, so I came up with this extensive story where me and him had gotten to a bar and there's a table with 3 seats. And so we sat down at it, but he went to the bathroom, and while I was sitting there waiting for the table, these 3 guys came up that had already been drinking, and then they were like, hey, you should give us this table since you're sitting alone and everything. And I said, well, no, I'm waiting for a couple more people, so we will have 3 people and everything. And they just kind of kept pestering me and calling me names and making fun of my height, because, people are always doing that. And so I got
kind of short, Alan.
Yeah. So I got really pissed off, and so I started talking.
You, Levi.
I started talking back in their faces and everything, and right as the main guy was lifting me up and everything, that's when my friend came back and he just grabbed the guy by the head and No, never mind. I have to.
Oh, back it up.
That was later. That was later. Yeah. So he just came up and he just pushed the guy. And so that kind of pissed the guy off because he was a little drunk. And so he and my friend started kind of fighting each other and everything. And I was holding back. Oh no. It's been a while since I told this story. It's not a true story. Like I said, I made this up. But
I just can't remember.
So I can tell you anything.
So I could no. So
but that's not exactly.
So he kind of pushed the main guy, and so I was kind of holding back the main guy while he was kind of wrestling with the other 2 guys and everything. But the main guy was able to push past me because I'm kind of small, and he grabbed my friend by the head and just whacked my friend's head on the table and got this nice gash. And by that point, the bartender had come out and was starting to break up the fight and started calling the police. And so the other guys ended up having assault charges on them and everything. But I had to drive him to the hospital. So I told that story to everyone just as a joke and everything, and everyone believed me. And I constantly had people going, Alan, you have to tell these guys about that time you got in a bar fight. And so I just kept telling the story. And by the time I left...
Didn't think anything would come of it.
No, nothing has. By the time I left, I had 20 people believing that story, and no one knew I was just joking around. I also did that with a story where I got attacked by a mountain lion.
What?
People believed you? So, let me tell you the story.
Each time it's more grand. First time it was one person. No, he had 2 people.
No,
there was 3 people.
No, my mountain lion story is a really.
I saw a cat. No. It was a dog. No, it was a mountain lion.
No, my mountain lion story is really great. So this was back when Daniel was working up at the phone-a-thon, and I was walking up to meet him and everything, and this was about the time that there was those mountain lion sightings up in Research Park. And so I was walking up there, and I heard something in the bushes, and I thought it was just a deer, but then a mountain lion jumped out. And it was it wasn't a big one. It looked like it was kind of an adolescent.
Wait, you actually totally did see a mountain lion?
No, he's telling the story.
Damn it!
I told people.
I fell for it.
So I saw this mountain lion and everything, and so
it's so hard to believe that other people believed it.
I was like, hey, that's a cool thing. Well, it's because you started giving detail to the animal.
This is a great thing. This is how I've learned to tell stories that to A, make it worth listening, and B, to make it believable. So this mountain lion wasn't that big. It looked like it wasn't a full-grown mountain lion. It looked like maybe it was an adolescent, but it comes out, and so the first thing I do is try to make myself look big for the mountain lion and everything, but I was kind of caught off guard, and before I got a chance, it kind of jumped at me and like hit me on the side, and I was able to kind of push it out of the way, and by then I was like kind of making myself look big, and I pulled out my pocket knife, and so again it jumps at me, and I kind of just hit it with my knife as it kind of jumps past me and everything. And so by that point, I freaked it out enough that it ran away, but that's why I have a popped rib. It was from that, because he hit me here, and after that, that's when my pain came. That was a nice thing I added, so that made it more believable. So I have an injury from it.
When did you get that?
I have still no idea. So those were two stories that I could, by the time I had left the bookstore, I'd convinced like at least 15 to 20 people that both those stories had happened to me. So, and then
look at you, Alan, betraying their trust.
I know. The last thing we'll talk about next time, because it's a really cool thing. So I want to spend more time on it.
Well, this was the Panda
Thank you, dude.
Podcast!
We'll see you guys next time. Pandemonium Podcast.